Welcome to the Ordinary Marathoner Podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Ordinary Marathoner Podcast. My name is Coach Scott. I'll be your host today. It is Tuesday, March 31st, the end of what has been a really unique month, to put it lightly, paradigm shifting, lifestyles changing, vocabularies enhancing. We've got new terms like social distancing and flattening the curve that are now mainstream nomenclature. And man, I don't even know. Today's podcast should be interesting. It's kind of already been a little bit trying. We've had a little bit of technical difficulties and interruptions, but we're going to get this one out for you guys. I want to start out and I want to get small and talk about our group and talk about some things that are going on out and about. And we're going to start with Team Ordinary. A lot of you guys have submitted races to our race calendar, and I get it. And maybe there's races going on, but my hunch is that most races, 5Ks, 10Ks, whatever they may be, or even local ones, are getting canceled. And I think that's probably the right decision. I don't want to be sitting here. I'm not going to use my platform to tell you what to do and how to act in this thing. There's too many people out there acting like authoritative, experts, telling people how to behave, what they can and cannot do, how we're not responding, we're not taking things seriously enough. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say that, it's not within my own personal comfort level to go and do a 5K race with a lot of other people. I don't think that anyone else is doing that. If you are doing it, I think you should reconsider, but I'm not going to judge you or I'm not going to tell you what to do. That's up to you. I don't think anyone's doing it. So I'm not going to announce races on today's podcast, at least races that are outdoors. I think it would be irresponsible of me to announce races that are outdoors, even if they're not occurring. I don't think that they're occurring. So, if you're out there doing races with friends and getting grouped together, I kind of advise against that. And I'm just not going to announce it on the podcast. However, there are certain things that you're able to do that are within the realm of safety. And there's two events that I want to talk about in particular. Number one, obviously the Ordinary Marathon. Now, it's not until May. May 8th through May 17th is the Ordinary Marathon. It's a 10-day event, virtual event. And I think, if anything, right now, this is the opportunity for virtual racing to actually come to the forefront. This is to peek through. We have all these races being canceled and postponed. And virtually, look, you want to be... racing is a very social event. It is a social sport. As much as you think it's individual, and there is a big individual aspect to it, it is also very social. We like to get together. We like to experience our races and our successes together. Our virtual event this is year 3. We're trying to get it to grow and grow and grow. And this year is going to be a big opportunity for us to make that happen. And the way we're going to do that, we're going to try. Number one, we're keeping the race exactly how we've been doing it. Now we're going to cancel our 5K. As I say, exactly. We did the 5K last year. We're going to cancel the 5K this year. It's not, now I would love nothing more than to tell you that in mid-May, everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to be back to normal. We're going to find a treatment for coronavirus and everyone's going to kind of move ahead and be healthy and we don't have to worry about it and we can have our 5K. If we can reinstate that, we will. Well, good news about our live 5K is it's not that big. The logistics are not that huge. So if we want to reinstate it in the future date, we'll go ahead and do that. All right. But for now, consider the live 5K. I think it's irresponsible to have it and we're not going to have it. We're going to cancel that. But the virtual option, the virtual race is still on. Again, 10 days of racing. You don't have to run a full marathon. I know it's called the Ordinary Marathon. You don't have to run a full marathon. Some people look at it and say, hey, let's run a full marathon distance, 26.2 miles over the 10 days. And I think that's super cool that people do that. Now, if you register for the race, you get an opportunity to buy the race shirt, which we designed together over Twitter and social media a couple months ago. You get a bib, a personalized bib that will have your name on it or whatever you want it to say. And some people have gotten very creative over the years with what they put on their bib. We'd love to see that. I think, look, we give out prizes every day of the 10-day event. We put together a nice video with all the pictures that you guys put on social media. And I think this year has it's an opportunity to be very imaginative and creative with this race. Now, personally, I think it's still safe to go out and run outside. Leave my house. I go down to the path. Look, the 6-foot rule is a 6-foot rule. But I'm on a 4-foot wide path and you're going to run past people. People are going to run the other way. People are going to pass you. I'd say I'm going to pass other people. Chances are I don't because I'm very slow. Maybe I'll pass a couple, but you know how it is. You're going to pass people. People are going to pass you. But look, we're in the breeze. It's just, I think right now for my own benefit, for me, this is my decision. You can criticize me if you want, but I feel safe, comfortable going out for a run and being out by myself. If I go with Stephanie, that's fine. Sometimes we might push the running stroller, go for a walk, whatever it may be. I think that the mental health aspect of it for me to get outside and not be cooped up in the house all day long for days on end is more advantageous than the risks of me contracting a virus, passing people in the breeze as I run. You have to make your own choices. You have to make your own decisions. I'm not gonna be your parent here. You can do what you want to do. If you're one of those people that decide that you don't feel comfortable running outside, running in your neighborhood, going to the path, going through the park, doing whatever, running in the street, you don't feel comfortable. I have seen a lot of imaginative ways, creative ways that you can get your running done, that you can run. I mean, I've seen a guy run a full marathon on about a 10-foot balcony, back and forth, full marathon. It took him over 6 hours. I saw a guy run a full marathon around his backyard doing a loop. He would run this way, he'd stop, he'd run this way. The loop wasn't that big, maybe, I don't know, 50 yards, if even that. He was out there for over 6 hours, did a full marathon in his backyard. I would love to see you guys come up with creative ways to get your running in during the ordinary marathon. Let's build this thing. Hey, you have friends that are runners? Invite them. Get them involved. Say, hey, I know you were training for a 5K. I know you're doing the Couch to 5K. I know your race got canceled. Or I know the Boston Marathon got canceled. Or I know your Ironman got canceled. But let's get involved in something. Let's make it competitive, make it social, make it fun, make it whatever you want to make it. It's your race. It's my race, but it's your race. And it's the Sam Funds race too, by the way. We're raising money for the Sam Fund. To register, it costs $30. Go to ordinarymarathon.com. If you're not sure, go look at our old race videos and see how much fun that we had and how great it was. It was an excellent time, and now is the perfect time to get involved in a virtual race. I'm doing the big sell right now. Go on. It's $30 to join, to register for the race. If you register by, I think we have 2 more weeks, you can still get your personalized bib. You can still order your shirt and get it on time. That's just the way. That's just kind of like the schedule that we're on. So we need people to kind of register now. We want you to register now. Use the coupon code Ordinary, and you'll get $5 off of that. So really, it's $25. Money goes to charity, and we have a great time. And really, if there's any year that we need virtual racing to kind of like keep our sanity, right? Keep our competitive spirit together, keep our sense of community as a whole, as a running community, this is it. And I think that this is the year that really we can peek through as a virtual race and make ourselves more important than normal. The Ordinary Marathon out there for you guys. It's there. Might as well take advantage of it. I do see, a lot of races getting canceled, and a lot of people have been training really hard. And I understand the disappointment that comes with having your race canceled. I've had my 10K canceled. That was mid-March. I've had my the half marathon rock and roll half in Atlantic City that we're all going to meet at in May. That's been canceled. I have a half Ironman in July that I think it's going to get canceled. Maybe a 20% chance, 25% chance that we actually do that race. The problem is if you assume that your race is going to get canceled, I ask you this question. I think I said this was on the podcast with Stephanie too. I asked you this question. What is worse? That you train hard for your event, and then a week before the event, they decide to cancel it. And yeah, it's disappointing and it's upsetting, but you've done the work. You're prepared. You've done the training. You're a better person. You've done that. You've adapted the discipline that it takes to do that and be ready for a big event. You just didn't do the event. What's worse, that? Or just deciding that, hey, my half Ironman in July is probably going to get canceled. So let's not focus on that and change it up and pretend like it's not going to happen. And then, oh yeah, the race doesn't get canceled. And then you find yourself on the starting line and you're not prepared. What's worse? Now, as a coach, that's kind of the message that I've been sending to my athletes. And I think it's one that you really got to consider when you're thinking about your goals and what the goals that you've set for yourself and the training regimen that you're setting for yourself right now. Prepare for the race that you wanted to do, that you wanted to run, that you wanted to participate in. If it doesn't happen, then you adjust, right? Then you adjust. And yeah, it's mentally trying, but you're tough. That's why you're in endurance sports to begin with. You're tough. All right. I feel bad for triathletes. The pools, they can't find a pool that's open. The gyms are closed. The hotel pools aren't open. If you don't have a friend if you don't live in the South and in a nice warm climate that has an open pool that you can swim some distance in, you're not getting that work in. We're doing a lot of resistance band training. We're doing a lot of yoga, upper body yoga and stretching. That's about all you can do if you don't have access to a pool or to a lake. The parks are closed. It's tough, but it's not impossible. It's challenging. But the challenge is what's going to make it even more, more valuable when you compete and you exceed even your own expectations. So take it as a challenge. Take it as a challenge and move forward. Now, two guys that I admire through this, two guys that I admire that are trying their best to kind of not only take this whole thing on head first and overcome the challenges and attack them with vigor. And but then beyond being able to cope with it themselves, but then trying to help other people and kind of bringing everyone together and giving them a sense of normalcy. Matt Shore and Jacob Polzin, now they conspired behind my back to do to kind of do a Zwift race on this weekend. Now, we've been doing a lot of Zwift rides, community rides. It's really nice to get together and kind of you're safe. You're riding together virtually through the online world. Sometimes we set it so that it keeps everyone together, so that no matter how fast you're pedaling, the bikes online, they just kind of keep them together. So you get a good workout in and you're kind of social and you can talk to one another, and that's great. But we've been kind of getting used to that, and they've recognized that, and they decided that they were going to do a race instead of a ride. So this week on Saturday, getting together in the, I think it's the New York World, the Astoria Line 8 course. I'm going to be doing this race too. I'll probably finish last, so be happy. Feel more than comfortable to join that race, and you'll be more competitive than me. But if you're interested in joining the race, and I know that a lot of you guys are runners, you're not bikers, you're not cyclists. So if you don't have the Zwift platform, I get it. That's fine. I know that I harp on it a lot. I talk about it a lot. That's what I do. I've become a triathlete over the years. And so Ordinary Marathoner has become as much of a triathlon podcast as it is running. But if you're on Zwift and you want to get invited to this race, let me know and I'll have you guys added to the list. I think we can only max out about 50 people, and then Zwift kind of doesn't let you do any more than that. But we'd like to see you out there. We'd like to see you try, and it doesn't matter what place you come in, how fast you are, how slow you are, whatever it may be. We'd love to see you out there and join us. And again, I really admire Matt and Jacob for not only taking this situation on head on, but then trying to keep others involved and keep others focused. It's one of those things where sometimes it's hard to wrap your head around your own training and your own discipline and keep it together for yourself. But then once you're comfortable doing that, to be able to kind of reach a helping hand out to other people and try to keep them involved, I think that's a great thing that they both do. And really, that's kind of a thing that we, as a community, we've done for each other. Now, that being said, I'm going to kind of tell you how I've approached the last month or so. Some things have been really, really good. All right. My training discipline has been really good. I think over the last 2 months, I've probably taken off about 3 or 4 recovery days, one I did yesterday. But for the most part, I'm on the bike or I'm getting a run in, I'm doing something, and I'm feeling good about it. All right. The discipline part is there. I've been consistently consistent. I like that phrase. Over the course of this year, throughout 2020. And it's been harder. It's been harder in the last month, right? With everyone being home, it's been harder. Now, personally, when I get into times of stress and high anxiety and even certain levels of fear, things going on like is going on today, I tend to kind of shrink up and make things small. I focus on things like, all right, my daughter, my baby daughter, Ellie doesn't have daycare. So now we got to take care of her. My mother-in-law is here. She's helping out. That's why I can do the podcast. My 10-year-old, she's in 5th grade. She's got to do her homework. We're homeschooling now. Now we're homeschooling. So we get a list of things that we got to teach at home. We go through it every day, print it out, check the boxes as we go along. It's insane. It's the level of things that we need to do within the house are heightened. It's all, and I need to, I, as a person, as a human being, as a father, I need to kind of focus on making sure everything is safe here. I need to be prepared. We have to have enough food in the house, enough supplies in the house. I need to feel comfortable that we're not going to run short on things, that we're all going to be healthy and good, that we're all within a safe structure, that we're protected, that we, I don't think that we're headed towards the purge here or anything like that. I don't consider myself like a really big prepper or anything like that. Although I acknowledge that's not necessarily. I mean, people look at it like people are crazy for prepping, but I mean, are they crazy now? Probably not. Are they crazy now? I don't think so. I think they're pretty bright. If you were one of those people fighting for the last rolls of toilet paper a couple of weeks ago, then you can kind of appreciate that. So, I focus on this house, making sure my family, making sure everyone's safe. And I kind of recoil and take myself out of social media. It's probably one of the reasons why the podcast hasn't been as regular as normal. I just focused on things here. Now, again, I'm happy with my discipline and things going on. Here's the thing. We've been doing this now for 3 or 4 weeks, almost a month. So now we've got some new habits. We're approaching our normal day in a different way. It's not the same as it was a month ago. Things have changed. But I think now that we've been doing this for a few weeks, it's time to self-assess what changes we've made, whether or not they're proper, whether or not they're efficient, whether or not they're the best choices, the best things that we can do. And in certain ways, I've been lacking. All right. So yes, I've been training. I've been disciplined. I feel good about that. Number one, my diet. My diet hasn't been that great. All right. We bought tons of snacks for the house, just in thinking like granola bars and stuff. I mean, I'm not sitting here munching on Oreos every night, but we have access to too many snack foods. And I think the reason we got them was we figured, hey, if we're going to be quarantined possibly and not be allowed to go out of the house, we need to have as many supplies here as possible. And I don't want to be sitting here eating like broccoli every day, and I could have something sweet. Unfortunately, we wind up eating those sweets all the time. And that's kind of just a bad habit that I've developed. Ice cream has been another one. Ice cream. Anyone eating too much ice cream? Now, look, I monitor my weight daily, so I'm on it. And I think if I stepped on the scale and I saw a number that really surprised me, it would kind of wake me up and I would make some changes. My weight has been pretty consistent, anywhere between 233, 237. I need it to move lower eventually. I would like it to move lower. The ice cream isn't helping. The granola bars aren't helping. But I'm recognizing that. All right. I'm recognizing that. What happens is in the beginning, you start doing that kind of stuff to cope and to deal with I have time. You start doing that stuff, and then it becomes habit, and now it's habit, and now I got to break it. All right. So that's one thing. Number two, Netflix. I say Netflix, but really I mean all these streaming services. They made TV so easy and accessible to us now. And now, I mean, look, we're quarantined. We're home. We should be staying home. We're being told to stay home as much as possible. So what happens is we eat dinner, put my daughter to bed, the toddler, the baby. And then, if I've done my workout for the day, we're free to go. And now what happens is we turn on the TV, and look, we don't want to sit there and watch coronavirus news all day long. It's like it's overkill. So, we turn on Netflix, we turn on Amazon Prime, whatever. We've watched, all right, in the last month or two, we have watched The Hunters, which it was okay. It was okay. Some of it was a little bit artsy that I didn't like. Some of it's a little, I don't know. It was okay. And then we watched War Dogs, which episode 1 I thought was great, and I was expecting really good stuff, and it kind of got worse for me. The cast is really good. It was funny at times. It was pretty annoying and frustrating at times. I wouldn't recommend that one. We started watching Tiger King the other day. I liked it, and we watched two episodes. We'll finish that eventually. Obviously, that's kind of like the new social media thing. And we also watched this thing called The Keepers, which is very unsatisfying at the end. I wasn't a big fan of that as much as it's kind of like Catholic Church, old murder case, whatever. It's I don't know. It's a documentary. Maybe I should make my own documentary if I'm so upset at some of these other ones. But anyway, the point is that we're wasting a lot of time in front of the TV. And you know what? With all the anxiety, I find it hard to sleep. And I don't know if anyone else is out there having trouble sleeping, but my typical night is like, look, we'll be up even last night. So last night, Stephanie wanted to watch a show at 10 o'clock that I don't watch. So she was down there watching with her mother, and I was up in bed, and I can't sleep. And she didn't come up till midnight. And when she came up, I'm wide awake. I probably didn't fall asleep till 1 o'clock in the morning. I've been sleeping later. And all this goes to like, it's bad habits that I have to recognize. And look, I know the trouble sleeping thing, I'm probably not the only one. I've read about other people having issues sleeping. Look, this anxiety keeps me up at night. It does. But it's not healthy for me. I need to get my sleep. You have to monitor that stuff. And so in general, what I'm saying here, take this time to self-assess. What are the new habits that you've developed over the last few weeks? How have you approached this? How are you, consider it a challenge. Consider it a challenge. I mean, this is your own self-discipline, your sense of responsibility, the things that you need to do. And the thing is, we all live in different families. We live in different environments. You might be single, living by yourself. You might have pets. You might not. You might have family. You might have extended family. It might just be you and your wife, you and your significant other. You may have kids. You may not have kids. All these different paradigms that we have. That's one of the things that makes this country so unique and great is just all the different ways that people live and the liberties we have, the freedoms we have in order to live within that scope. We just kind of band together and get through this and be as efficient and really treat yourself well. All right? Treat yourself well. One of the things that I've been absent on is social media. I just haven't gone on it. I don't like going on it. I don't like, I feel like during these times, there's too many people out there being very authoritative and telling you how to live your life, maybe with or without the experience or knowledge that, look, if you're not a doctor, you're not a scientist, you shouldn't be out there telling people what to do. Notice I left politician off that list. It drives me insane what's going on out there. So one of the things I came on the podcast today and I said, hey, I'm not comfortable running 5Ks, running races in groups of people. I am not. Maybe you're getting your friends together and doing a 5K together. If that's comfortable for you, that's fine. I'm not telling you what to do. In that same vein, if you are one of these self-isolation people, these people say, we're not doing enough, we need to do more. You do you. You do you. All right. You isolate yourself to no end. You put yourself in a room in your house. You lock the door. You have some cup of noodles. Take a shower every once in a while, please. Don't go out. You do you. You won't get sick if you don't see anybody. Right? You do you. Don't tell me how to do me. All right. It's kind of one of, I just sometimes, and look, it's not anyone in particular. There's no one in particular that I'm going, oh, that person does that. It's just, I don't like being told what to do. And I kind of don't like this whole social media. And our group has been actually wonderful. I've gone in, I like everyone's thing. I see people running outside. I love it. I don't like being on social media. It drives me insane. And typically when I see people acting like they're like authoritative know-it-alls, it makes me want to just not be on social media at all. Now, granted, as a guy that runs a podcast and has a running group and has all this, this is my captive audience. You guys are home. You guys have got nothing to do. You should be I should be embracing this, and I will be doing more of that. All right. I will be doing more of that because I do think that we need to I need, again, when this high anxiety time happens, I kind of shrink down. Now that I'm a little more into a routine, into a day-to-day thing, now it's time to expand and kind of get you guys back and try to reach the helping hand out and build this group and be as strong and supportive as we always have been. And a lot of you guys, Katie Mayo, amazing job. Katie Mayo is like my hero through this. She posts every day. She runs pretty much every day. She embraces it. She tries to get other people involved. She tries to keep people together. Katie, you're my hero through this. This is amazing. You're an amazing person, and our group would be nothing without you. Nothing. So I wanted to let Katie know that I do appreciate her and the things that she does for her group because I haven't been as visual. I haven't been as present as I'd like to be, and that will change. I think we're good here. I think I've said all the things I need to say. Look, teamordinary.com. Join the team if you haven't joined already. The shipping department is ready to go. The post office is still open. We can still send some packets out. We'd love to do that. We'd love to expand the team. Ordinary Marathon. Get involved. Coupon code ORDINARY. Get involved, Ordinary Marathon. It's in May. 10-day event will not be canceled. Raising money for the Sam Fund. I'm using the coffee mug today. We want to see you. We want to see you participate. Get involved at Ordinary Marathoners, the discussion group on Facebook, especially if if you just want to vent, just vent. It's fine. It's fine. We're a supportive group. And I think even through this, one of the things that our group has shown me is how supportive we actually are of one another. Even when I think a contentious topic kind of arises, everyone's sort of okay with it. Everyone's sort of like, all right, we're chill. So, we want to know how you're coping. We want to know, hey, if you guys need help, let me know. I'd love to hear from you. I really would. Our YouTube channel is up. We're up to 140 subscribers. I love seeing it. We had the Dick Hoyt podcast last week. Did amazing numbers. We love seeing it. Loved it. What an amazing guy. What an amazing guy. Just so inspirational. I can't even begin. I don't even want to. If I get involved, I'll talk about it for another 5 minutes, and the podcast will be done. But we're doing great things here. We're going to try to have Aaron Shepard on the podcast later in the week. I'm going to try to get Patrick Carey, who is he's a cycling coach. Try to get him on here later in the week. He doesn't even know it. I haven't even told him, but he's coming on. So I do have some guests. And we're going to try to be a little bit more involved with the podcast, a little more active in the podcast, getting it out there. I apologize for that, but again, this is just the way I personally react in these kind of situations. I kind of shrink. And I mean that in a good way. Like, I take care of the things I need to take care of. I don't need anyone helping me. I don't need anyone, taking care of me. I don't need any support. But that's just me. That's just the way I react. And maybe you're like that and maybe you're not. But yeah, so it's time to reassess the habits, the things that we've done, the ways that we've changed over the last month, and then make personal changes for yourself. All right. And I recommend that you do that. I recommend, because I've had these habits come on, whether it be the eating, whether it be the couple glasses of wine we have almost every night, whether it be the Netflix, places that I know I can be more efficient and a better person for me and my family by using that time better. Again, I'm not upset at myself. Those are just the things that have happened, the way that things have happened over the last month. Our world has changed, but now we know it's changed. We know it's going to be here for at least another month, if not greater. We know it's not headed in a great, wonderful trajectory. So, but we've had time now. We've had at least a month to kind of check it out and say, all right, how have I reacted to this? What things are different? How have I changed? And how can I make things better for myself, for my family? Make those changes now. I encourage you to do that today. That's all I got for you today. And, I can't even really say my tagline anymore, but we're going to say it. Even because every day is not ordinary, but every day is an ordinary day unless you make it extraordinary. You can still make your days extraordinary. Get after it.